Welcome, everybody, to The World is a Mess, and I just want to steampunk it. This is episode 40, October 23rd, 2021. I'm your host, Steampunk Star Raisin. I'm here in North Hollywood, California, USA. And I'm also here with my co-host, Daniel Bertazzon from Bellwood, Ontario, Canada. So how's it going, Daniel?
Pretty good. Well, my uncle is gone and his girlfriend is gone, and so yeah, because today they're gonna be there. They're gonna be here until like Sunday or Monday, so they're gone for today. And yeah, just I'm actually pretty damn hungry. I haven't eaten anything all day, and that really does suck. So yeah, but yeah. So anyways. It's a pretty cool day today. The temperature is really falling like crazy.
Well, I wanted to comment, and the case with Gabby Petito, we were talking about this off camera, and the search for Brian Laundrie is over. This was breaking news 2 days ago. Apparently, they found human remains in the Carlton Reserve in the swamp of Florida, where his parents actually said that he did go. And unfortunately, they found him dead. And the part of the swamp that they found his body in was recently submerged underwater. And it wasn't until it dried out by the sun that his remains were found and exposed. They apparently found skeletal remains. So it is going to be hard to determine the cause of death. I'm actually surprised he didn't get eaten by gators, because they said in that swamp there was gators. And it's amazing, after so many weeks of searching, I think they were searching for, I don't know, at least since mid-September. So like 5 weeks of searching. They had drones, they had, police and four-wheel drive vehicles looking for him. And the reason why they weren't able to find his body is because it, like I said, it had been submerged underwater until recently. It dried, that part of the swamp had dried out, exposing his bones. So he apparently is fully skeletonized. They did find a backpack and a notebook containing, let me do a screen share, because I got this off of CNN.com. You see that?
Not yet. Oh yeah, the manhunt for Brian Laundrie is over, but several big questions remain.
Yeah, reading here, direct quote from CNN. The discovery of Brian Laundrie's remains this week ends a manhunt that gripped the country for weeks as investigators search a Florida Natural Reserve for the 23-year-old who returned home last month after a road trip with his fiancée, Gabby Petito. Petito had spent the summer traveling the American West with Laundrie, sharing their travels on social media. The case first attracted widespread attention after Petito's family reported her missing September the 11th. So, and Laundrie would soon vanish from his parents' home in Northport, Florida, just days before Petito's remains were found in a national forest in Wyoming. Investigators since focused on locating Laundrie up until Wednesday, when his family was finally found. There's still a lot we don't know. Here's what the experts are saying about uncovering the truth surrounding their deaths. How did Laundrie die? Dental records confirmed the remains found this week are Brian Laundrie, the FBI announced, which makes sense because I had also previously read that they're now skeletonized. I mean, if you put a body in the swamp underwater for several weeks, it's going to rot, it's going to decompose. But yeah, it says by determining the cause of death could be challenging since authorities recovered skeletal remains, said retired FBI profile Jim Clemente. He added, it's possible Laundrie could have been dead the entire time he was missing. Yeah, it sounds like that was the case. And the reason why they weren't able to find him is because they were submerged underwater. But Apparently that's the area at the swamp. You can see that picture there where it says
Yeah.
police line. That's the area of the swamp where they found his remains. But I just wanted to do a brief introduction to that. Let me stop with the screen share. Anyway, now we're back to, yeah. So I had also read another article where they said they found a backpack, some personal belongings, like he had some spare change of clothes. He had a notebook with some notes in it, and they were hoping that maybe the notebook might shed some light into what happened to him. Did he commit suicide? It's hard to say, but his parents, Brian Laundrie's parents, did say that they last saw him going into the Carlton Reserve, and that they said that he was depressed and possibly suicidal. So it seems highly probable that he committed suicide. This completely surprised me because when you're dealing with erratic behavior, it becomes very hard to predict. In the previous podcast, I talked about theories, and there's still some mystery in this case, but it's pretty obvious Brian Laundrie murdered his girlfriend, and then either he committed suicide or died from an accident. And it's really surprising to me because if you're going to commit suicide, you would think he would have done it right after he killed his girlfriend. Why take his dead girlfriend's debit card and withdraw $1,000 and come all the way back home to Florida? If you were going to kill yourself, why not just do it then? But then again, when you talk about somebody irrational, emotional, depressed, depraved, that can be very hard to predict. It's highly possible because he was in a swampy area where it was, there was a lot of water. There's a lot of water moccasins, a lot of poisonous snakes. So he could have gotten accidentally bit by a poisonous snake and died. And the reason why his body wasn't found is because it was submerged underwater. And because his remains are decomposed and they're skeletal remains, it's not likely that they can determine the cause of death. I'm surprised his remains didn't get gobbled up by an alligator. But maybe with all the human activity of helicopters and drones and FBI vehicles and police vehicles scouring the area searching for him, maybe that scared away the alligators, and that's the reason why his remains were able to be found. But it's a shame that they didn't find his remains. He disappeared, like, I think mid-September. So he'd been out there for like 5 weeks. So that's, in the swampy, humid area with alligators and mosquitoes and poisonous snakes, you can easily get killed that way. But also it's really easy for your body to decompose and become skeletonized within a matter of days from dying. So we may never know what caused his death, but it seems like it's probably suicide. If my gut feeling now is probably suicide, because his parents said that he went out there. That was like his comfort zone. He spent a lot of time in the Carlton Reserve, and and he was an outdoors person. He was an outdoorsman. He was, he had spent 2 months in the Appalachian Trail. And so, it's mostly over. The only mystery now is, why did he kill his girlfriend and how did he die? And my theory is she was probably about to break up with him, because from what I understand, they had been engaged and basically she had called off the engagement. And so, but they were still together even though they were no longer engaged. So it's highly possible that basically he maybe killed her in a fit of rage. Because, like, you're not going to leave me, because, from what I can tell, based on, the August 12th video where he was, where they were pulled over by the police and they were both interviewed and they were both separated for 24 hours. And from what I can tell on the one video that Gabby Petito posted to her YouTube and videos they had posted on Instagram, he was very controlling and she revolved their entire life around him. And I've known guys like this that, view their girlfriend or their wife as their personal property. And so like, you're not going to leave me because I own you, that kind of attitude. Very misogynistic, very authoritarian attitude. So it's a tragedy, but we may never know all the answers to it because the last surviving witness, Brian Laundrie, is dead. So any thoughts on that, Daniel, before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I'm also very curious about all these things, but unfortunately we'll never know, right? We can only assume. And maybe if if his backpack contains notes, maybe we can learn some more about possibly, what happened.
Yeah, possibly. Let's hope that he left a message from beyond the grave. It still doesn't excuse what he did, but at least trying to understand what happened so that we can try to prevent this from happening again. But very tragic. And it's a shame that the Moab Police Department didn't intervene more and either arrest him or her for domestic. Actually, there was a witness. The problem was she wouldn't confide in the police. She tried to say it was her fault that she started the fight. But if you actually listen to the 911 call, which I did, the guy described seeing a man slapping a girl, that he was hitting her, he was slapping her. And that's the reason why he had scratch marks, because he was probably trying to strangle her then and she was defending herself. Mm-hmm. So, but she didn't want to get him in trouble because she loved him. But yeah, sometimes love can turn into insanity. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with feelings and emotions and, just self-destructive relationships. I've been in several self-destructive relationships, like similar to that, not quite as abusive as that, but still. Yeah, so a tragic end and an anticlimactic end, because I know that everybody was really loving this case. Like, where's Brian Laundrie? He was sighted in the Bahamas. Some people said that they saw him on the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina driving a white truck. He was sighted in Mexico, and none of that was true. Just everybody was looking to get that $30,000 reward money. I don't even know. I guess maybe the police officer who found his remains might get the reward money. But I don't know. It would have been a lot better if they caught him alive so they could bring him to justice and get him to answer for his crimes. But that's not going to happen, unfortunately. So, and there, I had been suspicious that his parents had been involved. They definitely were very, they wouldn't talk to Gabby's parents, wouldn't tell them what was going on, and they wouldn't talk to the news media. And they lawyered up pretty quick. And they even went camping with their son in the Carlton Reserve before he disappeared, which is very weird. So I don't know what was going on. And it still seems like his parents helped cover up his tracks a little bit. And the only reason why they helped the police and told the police where he was is because they were forced to, because they didn't want to be accused of obstructing justice. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. There's no other information coming in. There's no way I can theorize because there's not enough data.
Yeah,
I mean, I can theorize a little bit, but he probably committed suicide.
Yeah.
He killed her suddenly, and he's like, what am I going to do? And so it was fight or flight mode. And so he decided to go for survival initially. Then maybe after talking to his parents, maybe his parents said, hey, we'll give you time, but maybe you need to turn yourself in and tell them what happened. And then he went out to the Carlton Reserve. And I know that they had his car towed back because he had sat out there for several days. And he decided to just kill himself because it became overwhelming. You know, I think the FBI should also interview his parents more in depth and ask them what their conversation was when they, you know, the days before he disappeared, when his parents went camping with Brian Laundrie, because Brian Laundrie's sister did a press conference because she was being bothered by the, you know, her house was surrounded by press, and said that, you know, that Brian Laundrie, after he returned from Wyoming, went camping with his parents for several days. So what was said, they need to know what was said. Were his parents aiding and abetting his escape? There's still some unanswered questions. Not all of them, I think, will be answered. You know, the motive of why he killed his girlfriend. I just think that, like I said, the most plausible theory, and it seemed like she was slowly weaning herself off of him, and she had already called off the engagement. And it's possible she said, "Hey, I'm dumping your ass." She probably told him this in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming, and he just got enraged and just killed her, strangled her to death. Like, "You're not leaving me. I own your ass." That's my theory. And then when it caught up to him, and then he realized he wasn't going to get away with it, he decided to kill himself. So I think that's probably the probable theory. Although, who am I to say? My previous theories about him camping out in the Appalachian Trail were wrong. And, you know, it's because I don't really have sufficient data to correlate a probable scenario. I can theorize based on limited data that I have. Anyway, so any other last words before we move on to the next topic?
No, I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, so what else is on your mind? You were talking about some other things off camera.
Yeah. Did you hear that Alec Baldwin killed 2 people? Like, on a set with a prop gun, he killed like 2 people.
I heard he killed one and injured one.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah, let me go back to CNN.com. Let me look up.
This is here. There was a live round in a prop gun. What's a live round?
Well, I don't know if it was a live round or was it a blank. This happened. This reminds me of the case with the Crow movie, where Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, got killed during the production.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a prop gun. Okay, a lot of prop guns are real guns with blanks in them. And what is a blank? A blank is basically a shell with just gunpowder, but no projectile. And a lot of people don't realize with blanks is they're very dangerous at close range. Even at close range, you got particles of gunpowder or particles of dust, or if there's any lint or debris in there, is traveling faster than the speed of sound. And it can penetrate deep into your body and cause severe injuries and even death. And so you should still handle it like a real gun. Blanks are not as harmless as a lot of people would think. You know, you can fire blanks at close range and still kill somebody. Like if you're within 20 feet, you can still potentially kill somebody with a blank because it's still firing, you know, even microscopic amounts of gunpowder penetrating your body can, you know, lacerate the skin and cause internal damage to your organs or whatever. It can cause a lot of harm, you know, and I don't know. Apparently there was 3 prop guns. Hold on, let me go. God, it's not even a top news story anymore. Hold on. Crime justices. Oh wait, okay, it's under crime and justice. Okay, this is actually a good picture because it shows you the person that he accidentally killed. I don't know. I know police are investigating. All right, can you see that?
Yeah.
Crew member yelled "cold gun" as he handed Alec Baldwin prop weapon, documents show. So, and the cold gun is code for, oh, it doesn't have live rounds. So he apparently pulled the trigger on the gun thinking that it didn't have live rounds, and he killed the cinematographer, the director of photography on the film. And there's a picture of the woman who was killed. Assistant director handed Alec Baldwin a prop fire gun and yelled "cold gun," where the actor fired a weapon, killing cinematographer
Helena.
Helena Hotchins, or sorry. Excuse my bad English there, people. Anyway, Helena Hotchins, and injuring director Joel Sousa. So he killed one, injured one. But I don't know why he was firing the gun towards the director, but maybe because she was directing where the camera was going to be shooting and they were trying to frame the shot. It's just really weird. Anyway, the cold gun remark was meant to indicate that the weapon did not have live rounds. An affiliate for a search warrant for the movie set filed by Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office is obtained by CNN affiliate COAT. According to the affiliate, Baldwin was handed one of three prop guns by assistant director David Halls that were set up in a cart by an armorer of the movie Rust. So this is on the production of the movie Rust. I wonder if the movie will even get finished, because they're going to have to get a new director of cinematography. And I wonder if anybody will get arrested. But, you know, if it were you or me, we would have probably gotten arrested for manslaughter. But, you know, you're dealing with celebrities, you know, and I don't think Alec Baldwin intended to kill anybody. You know, it was just a horrible accident, horrible tragedy. I think usually when you get charged with manslaughter, you have to show malicious intent of disregard for human life. And I don't see evidence of that there. It just seems like a terrible accident. It reminds me of the 1990s movie The Crow, where Brandon Lee got killed. And then there was conspiracy theories about that maybe the mafia had murdered him. He's more famous for being the son of a famous person than he is acting career, because he got killed pretty early on in his acting career. He was in his 20s. And, you know, Brandon Lee, famous for being the son of Bruce Lee. Tragic death, died in the production of the first Crow movie. From what I understand, they use a body double to finish the film, and they like CGI'd his face on some of the scenes that they had not finished. So yeah. But yeah, Helena Hotchins, you know. Anyway, yeah, tragic death. She seemed like a talented, beautiful woman. It's a tragedy. I don't, you know, it seems entirely accidental. It's just irresponsible to film company. Like, why are you handing out loaded weapons, you know, or even if they have blanks in them, why are you firing those blanks within 20 feet of somebody? Because it should be well known and people need to be educated. But that's the problem when you're doing a movie in Hollywood, because I live in North Hollywood, and I've worked on some independent productions, like low budget productions, but you know, not everybody is very well trained, because it tends to be contract work. It tends to be temporary work. You go from gig to gig, and you don't have a long-term career working for one production. You have long periods where you're not working, and in between. And there should have been, you know, if you're handling even real guns with blanks, it needs to be education on like, hey, you don't need to be firing this within 20 feet of a person, because it can still kill. People underestimate blanks in a gun, and whether or not it was a gun with a blank or a gun with a live round, I don't know why they would even have guns with live rounds and on the movie set. If I had to surmise, it was probably a gun with a blank, which is still a type of live round. It doesn't have projectile. It just has gunpowder loaded in the shell. There's no projectile on the tip on the end. But like I said, if you get even like lint traveling at faster than the speed of sound and it penetrates deep into somebody's body, it can critically injure them. So yeah, so I don't know what else to say to that. That's breaking news. That was I think breaking news from yesterday. Multiple agencies are investigating the shooting. Okay, this happened in New Mexico at the Bonanza Creek Ranch, New Mexico. Oh, here's a picture of the prop guns. Oh, wait, no, that's a video. You can see a little bit of a picture of the prop gun, but when I click on the picture, it goes to a video.
What did Alec Baldwin say?
But
He tweeted something.
oh, this is just a generic picture of prop guns because they got like an Uzi here.
Mhm.
It looks like an AK-47. That looks like some kind of Israeli assault rifle. This has nothing to do with the Rust movie set. Those would have been like Colt 45s or whatever prop guns they were using. From what I understand, it was like a pistol.
Mhm.
But anyway, you still there, Daniel? What's going on?
I'm still here.
So you're okay. So I've given my thoughts on that. I believe that it was no malicious intent. I think it was just an honest accident because he was told that he had a cold gun, which means that there's no round in that. And so he mistakenly believed that it was a weapon with no round in it, but apparently there was.
Mhm.
So, what's your opinion about this? What's your take on this, Daniel?
Like, I wonder how. Like, was he pointing it at her or something? How did it hit her?
It's kind of weird. I know that they're doing an investigation. Local authorities in New Mexico are doing an investigation. It is pretty bizarre that he'd be pointing it at the director of cinematography, but you had already heard this, and this is a developing story. I'm sure we'll hear more about it as time goes on. Yeah, I don't know why he was pointing the gun at the director of cinematography so close and why he pulled the trigger. Maybe because he thought it was just a prop gun and he was being silly. Who knows? I'm sure that he'll be interviewed and interrogated about this. I think it was just a tragic accident, but there needs to be better training. There needs to be better firearms training. People who I know they had an armorer managing the weapons, but they need to, be apparently his training was not very well. There was an assistant director who said it was a cold gun, which means that it's not loaded. So maybe he was posing for a picture for like a promotional shot and he pulled the trigger thinking that it was just a prop gun and it was actually a real gun. So yeah, even a prop gun with blanks, you should still handle it as if it were a loaded weapon because it can still kill somebody at close range. Anyway. So any other topics or any other words on that before we move on to the next topic?
Wow. I mean, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he won't get into trouble for this because, yeah, like celebrities, they got power, they can get away with, they can escape, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if it were you or me, we would have probably already been charged with manslaughter. But because he's a big celebrity, he's probably not going to be charged with that. But often, like I said, manslaughter, you have to prove malicious intent, like malicious intent of disregard for human life. I don't really see that here. I feel like it was just a tragic accident. He thought it was a cold gun. So I'm sure that he's cooperating with authorities and being interviewed by authorities. And so luckily only one person got killed. The other person was injured, survived. But yeah, this was in Santa Fe County. But yeah, I just realized we're out of time. Thank you, Daniel, for joining me.
Mhm.
This is Steampunk Star Raisin. of The World is a Mess, and I just went to steampunk it. This is episode 40. You have a nice day, and I will see you 25 billion years. I will. All right. Let me do that one more time because I just realized I had screen share on the whole time. This is Steampunk Star Raisin. You have a nice day, and I will see you 25 billion years. I will.